Hello and welcome to the SmartPlot tutorial. In this video, we will be describing the functionality of importing your data and basic data manipulation before you start your visualization and analysis journey. For the first step, you can drag and drop the local file import block, and in the local file import block, you can either upload a new file and give it a specific file tag and cost center value. These two features will be described in detail in an upcoming video, or you can choose any of the existing files that you have previously uploaded. In this specific scenario, I will be choosing the hybrids data for maize. Once you have chosen the specific data, you can additionally configure the data, in which you can change the data type for any of the columns for your specific dataset. Or I can change the visibility, which is the cost centers, or select a specific organization in which I would like to store this file, and of course, delete the file entirely. Now that you have uploaded your file, there are some basic manipulations that you can do to the data. One of the examples is the rename block. So once you drag and drop this rename column, you can attach a connection between the local file import and the rename column, which signifies the flow of data from one block to the next. And as the name suggests, in this block, you can rename the file to your specific liking for any of the columns. So if I would like to rename this specific column with capital ID values, that can be done. And once that is done, you can rename the columns. An additional change that you can do is you can change the orders of the columns. You can filter the columns, and if you would like, even visualize the columns before you start your journey to begin with. That is done through the show table block. Once you do click on the show table block, as you can see, you can change the orders between these blocks. You can also change the visibility. So for example, if I did not care about the source and would not like for this column to be seen in the further analysis down the pipeline, you can hide the source column directly over here or within this overall view section. You can also reset the order and show all of the columns that you've hidden previously. And an additional feature that can be done through the show table is a quick visualization of your entire dataset. You can see the range of the data in a single column for all numerical columns. So in this specific case, this basically compares the min and max value for each of the columns individually and plots them in a spectrum, with a max value having dark blue and the min value having dark red. But if you would like to, instead of comparing each of the single columns by itself, if you would like to compare this specific point with relation to all of the numerical data points in the dataset, you can choose whole table. And what that does is it basically takes the min and max value not just for a single column and compares within the column, but for all of the columns and all of the data points, and plots a color within that spectrum. And of course, the correlations selection, but for the correlation selection, is only valid for when you have data points between a range of -1 and 1, which is not applicable for this specific dataset. And of course, if you would like to see the mean values of specific columns or a specific category of columns, you can do that as well. So for example, I would like to see for specific field locations the average grain yield. So if I select these two values, at the end, you will basically see mean aggregation for field location and grain yield. So for all of the similar field locations, it aggregates and shows you the mean value. This basically is a quick demonstration of the import and basic data manipulation functionality.